Good morning, guys. This is Blackbird Rides coming to you. I am doing a voiceover because I initially recorded thinking that my GoPro would pick up at least some decent audio, but it did not. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all a story about me, give y'all some of my background, and let y'all know what I'm doing right now with my bike. So I'm going on my way to the Expel shop here in Austin, Texas, to go ahead and get my entire bike Expel wrapped, the paint protection film. This is my 2019 Street Glide Standard. I have the 107 Milwaukee 8. Yeah, so I went to Cars and Coffee this past Sunday at the Circuit of the Americas, and I met up with the Expel guys there at their booth, and they told me to go ahead and come on in and that they would show me what they got. So I took it in and was going to get a quote on the bike. But first, let me go ahead and give you guys a little background on me. I'm a college student. I go here to the University of Texas. My name is Blackbird. Now, my name is Sebastian, and my bike's name is Blackbird. I actually don't know why I named it Blackbird, but I like it. It suits it very well. This is actually my second bike that I've purchased. The first one I had a 2017 Harley Davidson 48 Sportster. I'm way too big for a Sportster. I weigh about 240 pounds and I'm 6'2", so I looked a little goofy on it. So I did end up trading up into this 2019 Street Glide. I like it a lot better. I'm still working on getting used to it. I've had it for probably about 4 or 5 months now. For a month of that, I did not have it. It was in the shop getting fixed due to an accident. I know a lot of y'all are thinking that I was probably the reason for the accident, but I don't think so. So I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all that story. I was going down. I was almost home. I was probably about a quarter mile to a halfway to my apartment. And there was some dead stop traffic, and I was going ahead and stopping, and I was in the turning lane to turn to the street to my apartment, and a truck just cuts in. I had no exact escape path. He cut in, and I slammed on my brakes to go ahead and try to stop to avoid hitting him, but there was no way. Oh, well, like I said, it was dead stop traffic in front of him as well, so he slammed on the brakes. He almost hit the car in front of him. I skidded. There was no way. Well, I wasn't skidding, but when I was about to hit the back of his truck, I went ahead and dumped the bike sideways. When I dumped it sideways, I rolled under his truck, and my bike ended up rolling. I think it was about 2 times. It ended up rolling on the sides horizontally. So the entire bike was pretty messed up. His truck had about $150 in bumper damage. That was it. My bike, on the other hand, had about $13,000 in damage. Everything had to be replaced. The whole front fairing, the headlight, the radio, the front fender, the forks, the fork covers, the saddlebags, the gas tank, the floorboards. Almost everything had to be replaced on the bike, minus the frame, wheels, and motor. Other than that, almost everything else got replaced. And my exhaust even got scratched up on the side. Yeah, so it was pretty rough. It took about a month and a half for everything to get fixed. My insurance put me at fault initially due to hitting them from behind, but I did end up getting a picture of the vehicle crossing a double yellow or a double white, and that's well, from my understanding, I thought it was illegal in Texas, but it's actually just frowned upon in Texas. But either way, I sent that picture into my insurance, and they determined that there was no way that I would have been able to anticipate him crossing a double white. So they put me 60% at fault only because I received a ticket, which in the state of Texas, if you hit a vehicle from behind, you're automatically getting a ticket because it's assumed that you weren't keeping a shared distance. So I'm also facing legal issues with that to get that ticket removed. So I'm taking the same picture of him crossing the double white to court, and I'm going to go ahead and explain the whole situation from there. Hopefully I win. If I win, my insurance will reevaluate it and hopefully try to put me at 0%. I'm still waiting on his insurance as well, to evaluate their side of it and see what they come to. If they come to putting them at fault, then that's even better. So in the whole accident, I mean, I did not fully get injured. My helmet did not touch the ground. My helmet did hit the back of his tire, so it kind of just rubbed off like some lettering. Other than that, I mean, I still got the helmet replaced. Sorry, I'm burping a little bit. So when I dumped the bike sideways, my knee initially hit the ground. It took the blunt of the blow, and I do have a torn ACL. Initially, I did not think anything was wrong. I ended up rolling on the floor quite a bit. I know the ambulance and all the people that stopped were really worried because I was rolling on the floor, but that was because the initial impact to that knee really hurt. Once the adrenaline kicked in, I didn't feel the knee, and I got up and I was more concerned about the bike, as I'm sure a lot of y'all would sympathize with. The bike was in like 2 lanes over on its side, still on, playing music. So we ended up getting the bike up, but the whole front fender was collapsed in on the tire so the bike wouldn't move. So it was just stuck in the middle of the road. We ended up having cars. We backed up traffic for quite a bit, but we had cars honking at us, yelling at us to get out the road when we couldn't move the vehicle at all. Finally, the firefighters showed up to go ahead and evaluate everything, and they said we had to get the bike out the road. And I told them, I'm like, well, the front fender's collapsed on the tire, it won't roll. They're like, okay, well then we're just going to cut the fender off. And I objected to that immediately, and I told them that if they had tools, that I would like to remove the fender, and they said yeah, that would be the best bet. So we went ahead and removed that front fender, and we got it rolling. I rolled my bike off to the side. The paramedics went ahead and evaluated any of my damages. Nothing was major. Or to me, I declined medical services because I didn't feel I needed it. On the next days when I went to the doctors and determined that I had a torn ACL. So yeah, the bike was pretty trashed at that moment. I was still able to ride it home. But on the way of, the ambulance assessing me, some cops passed by. They weren't called. It was just the ambulance that was needed, or the firefighters that was needed. But the cops passed by, decided to stop and see what was going on. They talked to the driver of the vehicle. They did not talk to me. They just asked for my license and my insurance, and then immediately wrote me a ticket because in Texas, like I said, it's you have to get a ticket immediately for hitting from the back unless you can somehow prove it, which, like I said, the truck was crossing a double white at the time that the officer was there, but that's a whole different situation. Other than that, like I said, still dealing with all the legal issues. I have court coming up in about a month for the ticket. My insurance is waiting on that to get dismissed on it. Well, if it gets dismissed, his insurance is still evaluating everything after about 2 months of me filing the claim with them, which is quite funny because my insurance determined everything within a day. But yeah, so that's the story on my bike. Everything I replaced, so it is technically a new bike. Besides, like I said, the frame and the motor, everything else is new cosmetic wise. So I'm on my way to go ahead and get it expelled. I'm getting this quote done, and when I did meet with the guys there at Expel Austin, they're really awesome guys. I met them, like I said, at Cars and Coffee this past Sunday. They decided that for the entire bike that it was going to be about $750, which I actually don't think is terrible, but just at the moment I don't have that kind of money. So I had decided on getting the areas that I needed it the most, which is the bottom of my gas tank. My gas tank, mainly because at the bottom I wear my keys on like a carabiner. And so anytime I'm riding the bike and I'm hugging my my legs on the gas tank, the keys kind of rub on the bottom, and I'm worried that it's going to end up damaging and scratching. I already have like a few little scratches, but I'm worried that it's going to end up getting deeper. So I decided on the gas tank and then the top of the saddlebags in case I do. I rarely kick over and hit it, but in case I do, I'd like for that to be covered. Other than that, I mean, the rest will have to wait until I get more money. But yeah, that's the story of everything. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep y'all updated once I do get it reevaluated and actually done. They gave me till Friday to decide if I want to do the full bike or if I just want to keep the gas tank and the saddlebag lids. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm going to have to let y'all know and let them know. I got the week to think about it. So till then, I'll catch y'all later. Once again, this is Blackbird Rides.